I call Lewis Cocking to make his maiden speech.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker, for calling me to make my maiden speech. And before I begin, I just want to congratulate all new members today which have made their maiden speeches. I'm a geographer by background, so it's an absolute privilege to sit here and learn about all of the different parts of our lovely United Kingdom. It is truly the honour of my life to stand here as the Member of Parliament for Broxbourne. I'm under no illusion about the responsibility of representing the place where I was raised, where my family live, and where I call home. I'm hugely grateful to the residents of Broxbourne who put their faith in me and elected one of their own. They will be keeping me on my toes, not least of all, I can assure you all, of my nan, Mr Deputy Speaker. She will not hesitate to badger me if she thinks I need to get things sorted. We are straight talkers in Broxbourne, and chief among them was my predecessor, Sir Charles Walker. He was certainly not afraid to speak his mind in this chamber. More than a decade ago, I was lucky enough to do some work experience in Sir Charles's office here in Parliament. I simply would not be here today without the opportunities and wisdom he offered over the years. Sir Charles has had a number of triumphs in Broxbourne, and I was grateful to join him and our community in our efforts to save the Cheshunt Urgent Care Centre in 2011 and to stop the energy from waste facility in Hoddesdon in 2017. I've also joined him on many occasions out on the doorstep, and the December 2019 general election campaign particularly sticks in mind. Despite the darkness and the cold, the ever-enthusiastic Sir Charles would plough on. On one occasion, it was just the two of us, and all of a sudden, Charles slipped and fell. I gasped and said, "Charles, please don't injure yourself when you're just with me, or they'll be saying I did that to get the seat." Sir Charles served Broxbourne for 19 years, and although I knew him well, I've come to understand just how much of an impact he had on this House only in the short time since my election. As Chair of the Procedure Committee and later the Administration Committee, Sir Charles championed the institution of Parliament and the individuals that make it. This has been really made clear to me by the reactions of House staff when they discover I'm representing Broxbourne. I will do my utmost to follow him in taking my responsibilities of scrutiny and representation seriously. As I've said, Mr Deputy Speaker, Broxbourne is my home and the place I love. The constituency is characterised by both its closeness to London and the countryside, with the Lee Valley Regional Park on our doorstep. In 2012, Broxbourne became an Olympic borough. We hosted the canoe events at our world-class Lee Valley Whitewater Rafting Centre, and we have a gold post box in Cheshunt, thanks to our very own Laura Kenny's success in the cycling. There are a number of Team GB athletes with connections to Broxbourne heading to the Summer Olympics, and I wish them all the best. The area has many small independent businesses, particularly around our towns of Waltham Cross, Cheshunt and Hoddesdon. They are the backbone of Broxbourne's local economy, and I will do all I can to support entrepreneurship at every level. I'm also proud of the international investment coming to the constituency over the next few years. I'm pleased to say, Mr Deputy Speaker, that Hollywood is coming to Broxbourne. A £700 million project to build a film studio complex is well underway, and this will have capacity to produce 4 blockbusters at the same time.
We've only got one.
At this election, the constituency of Broxbourne took on the villages of Stansted Abbots, St Margaret's, Hertford Heath, Great Amwell and Brickendon. These are all known for their tight-knit communities and natural beauty. Which brings me on to the topic of this debate. Whilst preparing for this speech, I noticed that both the former MPs for Broxbourne referenced the unsport greenbelt we are lucky to have in our area. Broxbourne has a local plan and has built hundreds of new homes. Some of my constituents would argue too many in a short space of time and too many in total, and I would tend to agree. As many of you who are councillors will have seen if you've sat on the planning committee, developers use outline planning permission to promise the world. I've seen houses in outline look absolutely amazing. The development has schools, new roads, a local centre, healthcare facilities, But once outline planning permission has been granted, they come forward for full planning permission, and Mr. Speaker, let me tell you, 9 times out of 10, the application looks incredibly different. Bad design and no infrastructure, and developers wonder why residents go up in arms. We need to link in better the NHS to new developments. On several occasions, getting local NHS providers to tell us what they need, or to even get them round the table so we can plan new services for my constituents, has been a real struggle. I have a real issue in Goffstoke and the wider West Cheshunt area, which has seen a lot of new housing, but no new healthcare facilities. And it is plainly obvious to everyone living there that they are desperately needed. We must ensure developments are acceptable. Not development but anywhere, but appropriate development in the right places. Infrastructure must come first. New schools, GP surgeries and 106 monies up front or as close to day one as possible. Above all else, we must ensure that local people have a say over local development in their area. So I hope the government will listen to local people. On this and other issues, I assure my constituents that I will be their voice in this place, and I hope I can begin to repay their trust as my hard work starts now.